Hello, soul friends. This is Miriam. Welcome back to my channel. Today's pick a card reading is all about what needs to heal in your life. What needs to heal in your life. Remember, no matter your individual beliefs, tarot or oracle reading is your spirit guides coming forward to give you advice, or it is just your subconscious mind helping you answer life's ponders. And no matter how you look at that, it's healthy and you're in the right place. We are doing this reading today because I wanted to do a quick publicity plug for some wonderful people that I'm working with in my healing journey. I kind of mention now and again, in the channel that I'm allergic to everything, that I have health issues, blah, 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 blah. If you ever want to know more about that, you can always message me. I love talking about it. No, I'm just kidding. But I do like getting information out there and talking to people about, ways to help myself. And so I wanted to talk about the Elements of Life Institute, which all of their information is going to be in the description box for you. This is a institute that is run by Dr. David Stokes Hone, and he's recently partnered with Heather Harmony, a very talented astrologist, who are teaching courses on Qigong, shamanism, spiritualism. And what's really cool about their courses is that a lot of the stuff that they teach can genuinely help a person heal themselves from weird, issues like what I've got. So they're very reasonably priced courses. They're very personable people, very kind. If you know somebody that's having an ailment that, traditional medicine is not helping, go ahead and do some research. Okay, specifically on Qigong practices and looking into astrology on how your chart and your past lives and all of that can kind of affect your health today. So that being said, I did timestamp that in case people wanted to skip, but I wanted to put that out there just so people, if you're dealing with stuff like I am, you have some other, options in addition to your going to the doctor and doing what your, Western medical doctors say. There's nothing wrong with exploring other facets. And so I've had such a hard time figuring out my own health journey that I've pretty much pledged to try just about everything to help myself. And so this was one area that I was led to, I believe, in a divine way. And so I just wanted to share that with you in case you know somebody that's looking for that. All right, let's look at your piles here. For pile 1, we have this cute little bunny rabbit. Pile 2, we have this edgier, more hardcore bunny rabbit that has very interesting little details on it. And then we also have this cute little floppy-eared rabbit for pile number 3 for what needs healing. The cards that we will be using today are pile number 1. You have this one. This deck is highly counterfeited, and I accidentally bought a counterfeited deck of these before I got an authentic one. Okay, so I'll put the seller's correct information in the description box for this because I believe they are an Etsy seller. They did give me permission to show their cards. This is the deck for pile number 3. This is the deck for pile 2. The decks for pile 2 and 3, you can find these anywhere where tarot decks are sold. I always like to give information in the description box if it's like a lesser known or a smaller business that's selling, if they have like a different place where they sell like Etsy or Kickstarters, that kind of thing. All of you will get oracle card from this deck. And then all of you will also get some overall energy from this one. This is also a smaller seller, this deck here, and so I will put the information for that in the description box for this one as well. Because, yeah, I don't know if you can find these 2 decks on traditional sites that sell tarot. You might have to go to Etsy or, the other website that the sellers have them on. If you like my little dragon, I'll pick him up and show him to you. This was actually purchased for me as a gift. It's like a 3D printed little dragon, but like all of his little parts move. And all of the scales look like little crystals. Anywho, the person who sold this to me, or sold it to the person who got it for me, I love that the little wings can be flipped around. It's very sturdy if you have like, you know, if you're buying it for like a toy, right? For like a kid, I would think it would be safe enough to have. It's very, very sturdy. All the little parts move, even its little feet. So anyway, I might paint the eyes just to give it some more definition. I don't know. But if you like this little dragon and you like the way it looks and you want one for yourself or for a friend, there are ways to order one in the description box. Let's get that all back there. All right, we'll see you in your individual readings. Bye. Hello, pile one. So if you picked the cute little bunny rabbit keychain here, let's get into what needs healing. We are not going to touch your tarot just yet. We're going to do something different first. We're first going to get some oracle for you. I feel this one too. We're good. And one of these or two, whatever your guys feel is best. I'm not really worried about it, but I do feel this one right here wants to come out, and that one does too as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Two as well. Ugh. I should learn how to speak. Okay, so let's get going. So we start off, we have the deer spirit for your animal spirit energy. It says, trust the support of the universe, Archangels Michael and Faith. Well, Faith is pretty self-explanatory. Michael is about protection. Okay. What I find interesting about this is like, it almost kind of reminds me of rabbit energy in the sense of like, they're not totally defenseless, right? Deer, right? But they are like kind of more vulnerable out in the, you know, out in that crazy foresty area that they live. Okay. Lots of things can kill them. And so I do get that idea of like going forth into the world with, knowing that like your creator is protecting you. I feel that for some of you, part of your healing journey that you're on is actually like letting go of things you can't control, maybe, particularly like, I know this is going to sound like extreme, but I see like some of you kind of doing a thing where you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, oh, there's an intruder. And you like go through all the motions of panic and adrenaline and all of that before you are even sure that you heard anything. Okay. That's kind of like a vibe I'm getting for some. I think for some of you, part of the healing journey that you're on is being able to let go. And it's not like you're like, oh, it's fine if somebody breaks in and kills me. I'm a pacifist. I'm just going to let it happen. Not like that. I'm talking more along the lines of like letting go to the point where you get a good night's sleep. You know? I don't know if any of you have ever had that. I know I've seen memes about it where they're like, you're so tired that when you're sleeping so good, you think you hear somebody breaking in. And you're like, I don't care. I'm not getting up. They can take whatever they want. They can come in here and kill me. I don't care. I'm not waking up for this, that kind of energy. And so I feel like, you know, while you should get up and try to get some help or defend yourself if someone's breaking into your home. Such an extreme scenario, but you know, that's where my head went. So there we go. I might wake up and do that. You never know. There's like this abandonment of letting go to the point where you're letting go of stuff you can't control. Okay. So like, for example, you know, not getting somebody to answer their dang phone when you're just trying to call them and find out if they're okay, you know, that kind of thing. Being able to like go in that situation, like maybe they're not okay. There's nothing I can do about it right now. And you like move on with your life. Okay. I'm feeling like that is a huge part of healing for some of you. For others, I feel like part of the healing journey that you're on is that support piece. Not just support from the universe and your creator to protect you, but support from others. I know, gross. I hate depending on people because they're so disappointing, aren't they? Yes. So disappointing. But anyway, I am seeing a support piece there of like, you don't have to do it all by yourself. Okay. For a few of you, or maybe just one of you, some of you need to relax into the support of your partner. I know, gross. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud right now, willingly on purpose, but that's what I'm seeing, so I have to say it. Some of you, and I've done this before too, where it's like you just kind of like conduct your life of like, I'm in this on my own. No one's going to help me but me, so I have to do this by myself, right? And you might even have a partner that you live with, right? But you still conduct your life that way of assuming that they're not going to be there at some point. And your guides are here to tell you that part of your healing journey that you're on right now, or part of what needs to heal, is letting go of that idea of like, there's no one there, right? They might not be there eventually. That's true. But while they're here, why not, right? Why not take advantage of that support? Okay, so that's 3 things that I'm picking up on. We have the support of your divine creator, protector, the universe itself watching over you as you venture out into the world. Or if you just like decide to stay in bed and not go searching for a burglar every 5 minutes when you hear something click, right? Like, there's like one person out there who's like, I feel so attacked right now. I don't think that all of you are doing that. And I don't feel like there's any shame in it. If you are, maybe I do that. And that's why I came up with it as an example. Because I'm an empath and that's what we do. We make it all about ourselves. Okay, moving on. Like, I thought narcissists do that. Empaths too. The goat. You know, when you get the goat, that's about as good as it gets, isn't it? Greatest of all time. Act from your innate wisdom, Archangel Perlemique and Pan, god of nature. I know who Pan is. These angels, I'm still getting to know them. I know Michael pretty well. I hear about Michael a lot. And Raphael, I hear that name quite a bit, but I don't know much about Raphael either, what Raphael does. Maybe he's medicine. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I didn't know they existed, okay? Let's just move on. And some of you are like, I still don't think they exist. That's cool. I still don't know if I don't even know if I exist, man. Is this not like, they're like, oh, here she goes. I mean, we could be in a simulation right now, and I could just be like a little computer bot, just going through my motions, man. You know, living out my little bot life. So what I like about the goat, and in particular, this goat that they're showing you is like a mountain goat, I assume, because they're up high in the mountains. We get mountain goats, but they look different where I live. They're not this magic-y looking. They don't have the curly little horns. Anyway, maybe we do. I just haven't seen them. I don't go out much. I don't go foresting much. So with our goat energy, goats are all about determination, okay? They can be linked to stubbornness, just like the bull can be. But what I like about them, and this is described to me as well when somebody was explaining to me that I have like Capricorn energy, which I was not aware of. Because I'm so stereotypically like Scorpio that like I was surprised that they were kind of focusing more on that. But it was this idea of like the little goat goes up that mountain, and if it falls down the mountain, it just gets up and tries again. And so there is that as well. So like I feel like for some of you, part of that healing, like those of you that are kind of hyper vigilant or can't relax all the way because you feel like you have to be the one to like protect, like even physically protect people around you, or you know what I mean? Like you don't ever get a break from like feeling like you got to be the one. I see some of you even getting like frustrated when everyone else falls asleep because you're tired and you want to go to sleep, but you can't because now you have to watch, right? I feel like for some of you, it's because of that determination, you know, and grit of the goat energy that has kind of like stifled your softer, more gentle deer energy. Okay. Not that the stag is gentle. Okay. Stags are a massive symbol of power. They're also a symbol of sexuality, which is very gross. You pervs. But anyway, I feel like for a lot of you, excuse me while I blow my nose, that this like ability to be able to relax and let go, part of it is like you don't have to climb all that whole mountain today, you know? You could take a little break, have some snacks, you know, watch a sunset. I don't know. Let's move on. Wait, hang on. We want to talk about the other two. Okay, so we had the hyper-vigilant crowd that can't relax as well because you're on guard all the time. Then we had the, oh, what was it? Oh, the support piece. No wonder I forgot. I'm like you if you're one of the support piece people. Support from others, especially like outside of like immediate, and even immediate, like I have to be honest, I really don't ask people for a lot. And it's not because I don't want it, it's because I want them to care enough about me to offer it. But then they never do, and I end up hurt and disappointed. I'm not saying that that's the way that they should be doing it. I'm definitely saying that that's not the way I should be doing it. Because I just end up hurt and disappointed, and like the person probably didn't really owe me anything. Like, and I don't expect them to owe me anything, but that is something that I get. And so I don't reach out for support because the fear of rejection or the worry that they're going to want something in return that I can't give, or you know what I mean? Like all of those things tends to be like a deterrent for me. And I feel like it's a deterrent for some of you as well with that support piece of letting others support you. For those of you that need to be supported by your partner, that you need to allow that to happen more. Oof, that's a rough one. And if your partner's in the habit of you not doing that, they might be in the habit of not giving it. You know, like they stopped trying to give it. So it might be something some of you have to ask for now. Okay. It's not true in all cases, but in some cases, some of you might need to. Some of you might have been like even abrasive about accepting support. Does that make sense? And so then your partner kind of stopped trying. I'm feeling this more for partners as opposed to like the community support piece, but yes. Is that it, Miriam? Connecting to the goat. No one's going to think that you're not self-sufficient if you ask for help. That needs to be said first. What needs to be said second is that enjoy the support while it's there. Yeah, it's going to go away. It's going to go away. Okay. You'll go away. It'll go away. It'll change, right? People change, hairstyles change, gas prices fluctuate. It's all a big mess. The world's out to get all of us. And none of us make it out of here alive. But the fact of the matter is that while you have that support, even though you know it's not going to be there forever because you've seen that in your life and you're not going to allow yourself to depend on support to be okay, can't you just at least enjoy it while it's there and just take advantage of it a little bit? I know that sounds bad, taking advantage, but it's not what I mean, right? Does that make sense? What else am I wanting to say? Especially with your partner, dude. Like partners, like they come and go, and like I don't care how close of a soulmate relationship you have with your partner. Nothing is set in stone because people die. All right, people change, people die, hairstyles change, gas prices fluctuate. The whole thing's a mess. Nothing's set in stone, nothing's guaranteed. But while it's here, it's like in learning to enjoy things while they're here. Learn to take the support while it's here. All right, moving on. Let's see what needs to heal. Embrace your inner child. I love how she's like hugging herself. There's a few of these cards in here where it's like a child self running to their adult self to like tell them something important or show them something or snuggle them, that kind of deal. For those of you that have that idea of like not sleeping, not relaxing enough because you feel like you're the one that has to be on alert all the time in the world, Like, I see this when you go out. I see it when you lock up at night. I see it when you go out to your car. It's okay. I've done it too. You might watch a lot of true crime. So you know exactly what's going on in the world. You might work in a business or like a field where you've seen it. You've seen what people can do to each other. And like, I don't feel like this is all just like murdery, attacky type vibes, but it's like this idea of like just venturing out into the world and being able to relax and not worry about. It's like when you go to a concert, okay? You're going to a banging concert. I'm not going to get into specifics of which kind, because then we'll start arguing. Like, who? It's just you. You'll see. But like, I like hard music. Like, I like new metal and stuff like that. So like, the type of music I listen to, that I go to, like, everybody's wearing black, and there's always at least like 6 guys that are either in their late 40s or their early 20s and have no reason to be there because it's like an old band, because I'm old. Or they're in their 40s and they decide to like pop their shirt off and rock back out like in their glory days, but they don't look like they did back in 97. Okay. Which in 97, they didn't look cool either. So meanwhile, you're in this concert and like, it's not, I don't know, what concerts don't get violent? It's not like a symphony from an orchestra and everybody's in suits and dresses and we're all going to sit nice. It's like, you got to worry about this guy back here, this dude over there, this person in front of you, these people behind you. All of a sudden you feel this surge and people are pushing you. All of a sudden you feel your feet go out from under you because a snake of people just like cut through you and now you're going to die. You know, those kinds of things. That's that hypervigilance I'm talking about, where like you can't even really enjoy the show because you're 5'2" and you're 110 pounds. And why did you think you could do this? Why did you think you could do this? Okay. That kind of hypervigilance, like you're in this crowd, you don't know where it's coming from, what's going to happen. And like, it almost feels violent to an extent. Something happened to that group. Like you don't get like that because, you felt safe growing up. Okay. In a lot of cases, some of you might have an inciting incident that happened that you're like, oh, that's why I can't like relax, because I relaxed once and then that happened. And so, but I feel like this is like a prolonged like stressor that just, it could have started very benign. Like, like I'm picturing like a big family and everybody's sleeping at different hours, and like your parents' sleep was most important because they're the ones that had to work. And then, your bigger brother's stuff was more important because, I don't know, your parents cared more about what they were doing, that kind of thing. And you kind of ended up being the one that's like, is anybody even worried about the fact that there's like a guy on the news that just broke out and, he killed that family just like ours, down the road, and no one's thinking about that, huh? I guess I do. I guess I'll think about that. Like I'm seeing even like mundane, like habitual things leading to this where you can't relax. Okay. What I want you to practice, or what your guides want you to practice with this embracing your inner child, is going back in time to when you were little and you first start noticing that feeling of not being safe in your own home, not being safe out in the world, a combination of both, not being safe with the people you were closest to, etc. and so forth. And go into that memory as your adult self. So there's 2 yous. I know. And take that kid out of there. Take the little you out. You don't have to save anybody else. Just save that one. Take them out of that situation. If you don't want to take them out of the situation, sit with them and calm them down and comfort them. Okay. I know it sounds weird, but it's actually a really healthy thing to do for your brain and your psyche, especially if you're a survivor of trauma. Okay. That being said, for those of you who are doing everything on your own and you don't take support from other people, what's crazy is like, y'all aren't even taking support or embraces from yourself. You're like, I'm doing this. You're just head down, moving forward, like gritty. And I admire you for that. But at the same time, there needs to be a little bit of balance for you to heal. And so this card is saying, do the same thing. Go back into a time when you were a kid, because at some point y'all decided that no one was going to help support you. You had to do it on your own. Like, that's across the board for all of you, regardless of what area of life that falls into or what relationships that falls into. you need to like look at that. Especially with the looking at how it affected you as a child with this card. You need to go back into that time period and find that kid, set them down. Have you ever just sat down with your teenage self and thought about that time that you were like in your bedroom, like slamming yourself against the walls and crying because you didn't know what to do with yourself inside your body? And everything was so hard, right? And like it might have been really hard. Some of us were dealing with like some major like, you know, true crime drama in our lives when we were teenagers, and so I'm not minimizing it like, oh poor you were having a rough time because you were hormonal. This could be a real deal. But do you ever go back to, you know how teenagers handle things? They get kind of dramatic, you know, like because of the hormones, and their little undeveloped brain is not finished yet, and then they started drinking and doing drugs and like you know, engaging in behavior that they weren't old enough for, and so then they, you know, made it all worse. So anyway, go back in that time. Even it doesn't have to be a little child. Go back to your teenage self and be like, you know what, 5 years from now you're gonna be the hottest chick that anyone's ever seen. 5 years from now you're gonna have like 25 notches on your bedpost because of all the hot chicks you got. Like, man, she cheapened that down so fast. I did. I took it right to the gutter. It's fine. So yeah, go back and talk to your past self. Talk to them. Give your past self some support. A pep talk. Praise yourself. Be like, hey, remember that time when you stood up for that one kid and even the teacher was like against you, but you did it anyway? Man, good job. I was proud of you that day. Let's see what else we got for you. Scoochie. Ew. Heal your oppression wound. Interesting. Like a little onion, there's just more and more layers. And they're stinky. Just kidding. You don't stink. You might. I can't smell you. You're not here. Anyway, your guides smell fine. They're all staring at me with their arms crossed. Like, you better not be saying we stink, because that'd be rude. We're not even physical. We don't have hormones. All right, moving on. I haven't even gotten to the tarot yet. You guys are like, oh my gosh. Your oppression wound. Like, I feel like some of you don't ask for support. And remember how I said earlier for the community support piece people that like you don't ask because you're worried that you're going to have to give something in return that you can't, that you're not willing to, that you're not comfortable giving, etc. and so forth. I feel like that's why some of you don't ask for support or accept it when it's there, because you worry about being oppressed by it. Yes. I also feel like for some of you, that hypervigilance crew, that some of you were very oppressed as a child. And like, look at how mad the mom is. Roar. And a poor little kid. Like, that makes my stomach hurt. Have you ever seen little kids, or like been a little kid that's just minding their own business and they're having a good time, and then the next thing they know, an adult is screaming at them? That look on their face, it's so hard for me. Like, I've worn that look. It's so hard for me not to find the cause of that look that they have and like set it straight. You know what I mean? With these. They don't look powerful. But they are. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, that oppression feeling, that, and I feel like some of you, that hypervigilance is oppressive as well. So it's like a cycle that keeps feeding into itself of like trying to avoid oppression, but then, what did I get on you? This is me. This is, yeah. It's like when I go to get a tattoo, just like stencil ink all over. It's on the ceiling, and everybody's like, how did you do that? I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, being oppressed, like being oppressed by, like, man, for some of you with that hypervigilance, I feel like some of you are oppressed by trying to avoid that explosion. Like walking on eggshells your whole life to avoid an explosion. Yeah. It's sort of like when, like, those of us who have divorced parents, like, you started like realizing what freedoms you had when you weren't at one of the parents' houses. And you're like, I can do this here. And you just like do it extra because you can. I feel like that kind of like that longing of freedom from that kind of oppression. With partners, I feel like you worry about your partner oppressing you, like you becoming unhappy in the relationship, and it becomes one of those awful relationships that nobody's happy and you just hate each other. I'm going to tell this group right now because I feel this strongly. That's not going to happen in this relationship. Okay? For you gross romantic people, it's not going to happen. It would have happened already and you would have bailed. Okay? Because I know you're not going to put yourself through that again. So I wanted to throw that out there as well. Let's get some tarot. Because we're already like a half hour in, man. All right. Some of you, I just heard the word Easter. It is Easter Sunday tomorrow. Okay, healing from, the Tower. Healing from the Tower. Yeah, something fell apart for you in a big way. Like probably when you were younger, you might have seen some things. The Star is about healing, y'all. It's about finding balance. It's about finding that, like, you're on your way. I feel like some of you are working through this in like maybe some therapy, maybe some journaling, some self-reflection. We have the Lunalapin card in the reverse. Don't worry about that being reversed. We have the Ace of Swords. And the Hermit. We might get some more, but let's talk about these ones first. Okay. So for the Tower, I feel like a lot of this comes down to, and this is like across the board, like the reason why you feel oppressed and the reason why you can't take support and the reason why you don't feel secure in everything and the reason why you are so deeply wounded by all that is because your world got upheaved in some way, in a really big way. Like, the tower getting like struck by lightning and the people are literally like falling out of the tower. In this particular instance, they look like they're on fire themselves. Like the people falling out of the tower are like literally on fire. And they're falling into a raging ocean, like a raging sea. There's not much hope there. Okay. I feel like with this card coming up first, this is the main thing that you're healing from. It doesn't have to be a singular event. It could just be a really tumultuous like childhood, a really tumultuous like adolescence, a tumultuous relationship, a tumultuous workplace, whatever you want to call it. It could be like one situation, like one traumatic event that was prolonged, or had like a prolonged lasting event. And so whatever it was so earth-shattering, shaking, that it's actually affected you throughout the course of your life. And this isn't just like, this pile isn't just about like, oh, you're healing from a breakup, and I'm not saying that those aren't hard to heal from. This is just like major life stuff, like really hard life energy, life lessons, that kind of thing. The Star coming up next is beautiful because the Star is literally about healing. Like, I love that card is there. It's also about glowing up. So some of you are finding, we talked about sexuality before. Some of you are glowing up in that way. Some of you are glowing up for your partner. Extra gross. Very nice, gross stuff. And I'm just feeling like you're ready to do something different. And that's why you found this like reading, is because a lot of times I feel like when we have big life stuff like this to heal, we honestly don't, at least I don't always know where to start. And I also don't know what the cause always is or what the solution might be. And so your guides are here to tell you that you're well on your way. Like, this awful like mess is over. It's not going to repeat. Okay. And that's the other thing. And that's something I have to remind myself all the time. Is that the things that I've been through are not going to repeat. Am I going to have similar incidents that make me feel triggered by those past events? Absolutely, but like, that's part of my healing journey, etc. So the Star is like a wonderful thing to get after the Tower. And I believe they're actually next to each other in the actual tarot deck. I think it's, yep. 16 and 17, I believe. Yep. Okay. This, I don't even actually know for sure if it was supposed to be a card in the deck, but it's in there and it's cute and I love it. It looks a lot like the Moonlight card. There's a bunch of different cards in this deck. There's a Sun card that looks a lot like the Sun card in regular traditional tarot. There's a Moon card just like that as well. And then there's a Moonlight card and a Sunlight card. The book is written in like, I don't know, the writing is so small and I'm so blind that I can't quite even see what language it is. I think it's Korean. I'm so sorry for the creator if you are not Korean, but that's kind of what it looked like. Like, it's so small I can't even read English in small print anymore because I'm that blind. But this card in particular, the bunny rabbit is facing us and the moon is like more behind it. It's not staring out at the moonlight like the traditional moon card. The Moonlight card in this deck also shows the bunny rabbit looking at the moon, and we're looking at the bunny rabbit from behind. What I think is cool about this card is that the bunny is facing forward, okay? And in traditional tarot, it's facing, you know, its back is to us viewing it, but it's looking at a path ahead of it, like it's going to hop down this path. What's interesting about this card is it's looking kind of behind. Does that make sense? Like, it's turned around to look at behind it before it goes further on into its path. Because it's in the reverse, I feel like a lot of you, part of what's going to help you heal is not so much refusing to look back at what's happened to you, but like choosing to move forward from what happened. Like, I feel like a lot of you might not have realized like what you needed to heal from. I feel like that some of you might be like me, where somebody said, hey, this might have been from, you know, from when, you know, your parents divorced and you saw your parents get into a really heated argument and it almost got violent or something like that. And then you had to choose which parent you lived with after that, right? In your whole house, and live in a different place, and your parents didn't love each other anymore or whatever. That to me is like, some of you might not have realized that that was the catalyst to what you needed to heal. That was the incident that created this wound, okay, that still hasn't healed yet, and you're still working towards healing it. All right. So what I like about this coming out in the reverse is that it does talk about looking behind you and like self-reflecting, but I don't see, like, your guides are saying to heal, like not to focus on the details of that past time, to focus on the fact that they're over. They cannot come back and duplicate. Okay. And you can create your destiny as you move forward. You can accept support. You can accept your partner. You can actually enjoy having people in your life while they're there, instead of just being like, well, yeah, that's nice, you know, but I'm still going to act like I'm alone, because pretty soon I will be, right? I also see the Ace of Swords. Part of your healing is going to be about, discovering the truth about you, discovering the truth about your life, about your feelings, about why you feel the way you do, about what you need to heal. It's also about speaking your truth. I feel like for some of you, a lot of this energy is not spoken out loud to people. Sorry, you're going to hear a slapping noise. I have a new tattoo, and week 2 it itches. Those of you who have tattoos might know. And you can't scratch it because it's still a very sensitive little wound. And so slapping it is acceptable. It doesn't really help, but it gives you something to do and changes the sensation a little bit. So that maybe your brain won't want you to scratch it so bad. So if you hear me, you know, slapping, I'm just hitting my leg. Anyway, I know. I just don't want to stop recording because I'm in the zone-ish. So speaking your truth, learning the truth, unflinchingly looking at the truth, telling people what you need is okay. And then I also see the Hermit. Yeah. Just because you're doing all of this and healing from this does not mean that you're going to lose your wisdom. It doesn't mean that you're going to lose your independence. It doesn't mean that you're going to lose the essence of who you are as a human being. All of this made you who you were. And so, that all being said, what really needs to heal is just your ability to let go of the past in the sense that you're not excusing what happened. You're just letting go of how it affects you today. You're letting it go of how it affects your behavior. Yes. Okay. I think I've thoroughly satisfied what I wanted to say. If this was helpful, please give me comments on how it was in the comment section. You can give me topic ideas there as well if you'd like to book a private reading. There are ways to do so in the description box. I thank you kindly for your time. We will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye. Hello, pile 2. So if you picked the edgy bunny, then this is going to be a reading all about what needs to heal in your life. We're going to set your tarot aside and get your oracle cards first. I see 2 I want already. This one and this one. Okay. Ooh, we have the Swan. Demonstrate grace and majesty. Archangel. Pokey? I know I said that wrong. I'm not going to try. I'm just not going to try, you guys. My gosh. The Swan is all about beauty. Look at the beautiful spiral, which is also about cycles and the unending cycle of life. If you're pagan, it's a very, very spiritual symbol. You got the rabbit. Sorry, I got excited because it's Easter tomorrow. You got the rabbit. Recognize your significance, Archangel Gabriel. Aww, I love the rabbit card. I also love that we were using rabbits today. I was hoping somebody was going to get the rabbit. Okay. Hey. Very soft, beautiful, gentle energy with you guys. And I'm saying that with the full knowledge that swans drown people. You know, when they feel threatened, they'll just drown you. Like, suck it up, buttercup. That's how it goes. That's how they defend themselves. They have that long neck. They just push you under the water with their beak and flap their wings around so you can't figure out your way back up. Don't tangle with them. They will win every time. But there's also that grace, that peacefulness, that I know I just described them drowning things, but yeah, like it. Be careful around them. I don't want you to think that they're safe now that I'm doing this reading. You're like, I'm gonna go pet its little nose. Like, no, don't pet it. Don't pet it. It's gonna kill you. You feed it though. Probably like throw stuff at it, like people do. I see them do that quite a bit. Like bird food. I don't know. Anyway, it's also about becoming. Okay, so some of you are glowing up. Part of your healing is gonna bring in a glow up. So I feel like for some of you, that you are recovering from something pretty serious in the illness category. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to pretend I know what they are. This seems like something prolonged. And it doesn't have to be physical. It could be like a prolonged emotional or mental problem. You know, health comes in all different shapes and forms. It could have been an unhealthy relationship even. But that being said, it's about becoming. It's about becoming your authentic self. Right? The story of the ugly little duckling, and then it became this beautiful swan. This idea of becoming your authentic higher self, okay? And embracing it with grace and majesty. It's also about, just like the rabbit card says, recognizing your significance, okay? The heart chakras are lit up. I also see some energy coming out of their third eye and their crown. So those might be some areas of your chakras you need to look at. What I love about the swan and the rabbit cards, there's so many like similarities to like the message they're giving you today. I was talking about becoming your authentic higher self. The rabbit is like about recognizing your significance. There's also a unicorn in there that's like a reminder of how unique and special you are, because you are. Oh, stop it. I'm not going to stop. Okay. Also, some spirals are next to the bunny, so I'm noticing that as well. We've got some like North Star kind of action. Notice how in this particular case, the bunny is actually being touched by the North Star right on the crown. That's like something people do in meditations, etc. So some of you might be healing through meditation and spiritual work. A lot of you are finding your higher authentic self and healing yourself through spiritual work. So some of you have branched out from like traditional medicine, and you're looking at spiritual work to heal you even in the physical sense, which is fine. Just keep seeing your doctors, everyone. As far as like rabbits go, I love about rabbit is, A, it's one of my spirit animals. So is the swan. So you're in good company. If you hear me hitting myself, it's because I have a new tattoo and it's itchy. And so I'm hitting it instead of scratching it. Okay. The rabbit is about courage as well. It's about embracing life on life's terms. It's also about embracing yourself as God created you, because rabbits are vulnerable. And I'm not saying that they're super gentle either. I live out where we have jackrabbits. This looks like one of those cute little like white-tailed bunnies that are like little, right? And they hop around. They look so cute. I get those, you know, they will destroy your car kind of like jackrabbits where like their feet are bigger than the little bunnies. Those guys fight, like they're fighters. You don't want to hit one with your car. You don't want to tangle with one out in the wild. I've never heard of anybody being attacked by a jackrabbit, but I've seen jackrabbits fight, and like they are hardcore. That's why you see them with their like little ears all torn up and stuff, is because they're out protecting their terrain, I guess. I'm not sure what they do for fun or for, you know, other than just like getting food and trying not to get killed by everything. They do seem to have like some kind of sense of territory like most animals do. But it's about like having that courage to hop out. You know, like rabbits can literally be scared to death. Everybody knows that. It's like finding the courage to hop out into the world, even though it's fraught with danger and fraught with, you know, terrible people that made fun of you when you were an ugly duckling, right? So I feel healing in a few different ways. I feel like for some of you have grown up around the same people your whole life. And part of this glow up is going to be a wonderful healing moment for you, because you've had to like be witnessed during your struggles by all these people that you've grown up around. And that has been trying for you. Like every single thing you've ever gone through, you had to answer to it with other people. You know, everybody knew about it, right? So like even if you didn't have to answer for it, you felt like you had to, you know, or that you were answering for it just through rumor. Okay. I feel like this glow up is a wonderful thing, because those people are going to see you and be like, oh, they're doing better. And I know that sounds so weird and crazy when like somebody deals with a physical illness, but it's true. Like people are awful to you, you know, and it's just a herd mentality, you know, and they see somebody not doing what they need them to do. They're like, let's push them out. It's sad, really. So like, I feel like so many of you've been doing this on your own. I don't see a lot of support around you. I feel like a lot of this has been like a solo journey and that's where the vulnerability of the rabbit comes in, as well as the ostracism that we associate with the swan before it becomes beautiful, right? Once you glow up, because I feel like most of you are on a recovery path, they're like, you're going to bounce back from whatever this is that you're healing from. And those people are going to be there seeing it happen. For those of you that were made to go through this publicly in some way. Like some of you might not be in a small town. It might be like publicly, like some stuff came out. Maybe you're in a, you know, like that toxic relationship. Maybe you guys had a lot of mutual people in your lives and they just kind of, everybody found out about everything, you know, that kind of stuff. And so there's a lot of exposure energy, of feeling exposed, of feeling wounded from being exposed. But I see that you are transmuting that pain into something beautiful with the swan card. I also see you doing it with courage and acceptance with the rabbit. I also want to point out that rabbits are lucky. And you don't have to chop off their little feet to do it. Okay, let's get you some more. I feel these two right off the bat. hear your crying. Yeah, I feel okay. Yes. So for a lot of you, this card here, I feel like there's a lot of betrayal. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of support in this pile. The last pile didn't have it either, but it was because they weren't accepting it. You guys, I feel like, would accept it if it was there. But it just isn't there, you know, like, and you're putting on such a good face about it and handling it with such grace and majesty and, you know, taking luck where you can find it and being resourceful that you haven't really taken time to cry about it, about the betrayals. You all, I relate to you very hard on that stage of admitting that somebody or something has hurt you. Is really hard. It's so hard. And I feel like it's just necessary. So like, I'm going to tell you about this little thing called timed crying. This is a really good technique to use if you're grieving a loss. Okay. So like when my dad passed away, I had a friend, an older friend, tell me that this is how she got through her spouse passing away, because, you know, I was teaching at the time. She said there's going to be triggers everywhere you haven't even thought of yet, and you don't want to just start crying in the middle of a class. And this was true. And so she said, practice timed crying, where you set aside, she would do it like an egg timer, where she would just sit down for 20 minutes and get out a box of pictures until she cried. I did like a more passive approach in that I would just take a shower, and while I was in the shower, I would think about all the stuff, and I would cry, and then I would cry until either I was done or the water started feeling like it was gonna run out of hot water, and then I was done. Okay, that's how I got through that. You would think it doesn't work, but it does. Some of you might actually have to do that to get yourself into the swing of it. You need to actually kind of face the fact that like people did you dirty in this situation. And I feel that for a lot of you, people did you dirty when you needed them the most. And I'm not just talking about recently. I'm talking about in the past. I'm talking about, and that's why you do things with such grace and majesty, is because you've been through this before. No one has to see it. You don't even have to admit to anybody that you did it, but curl up with yourself for a little while and cry about what those nasty people did to you. I feel like some of you even cringed when I said nasty people, like you didn't want me to call them that, even though what they did was nasty. Maybe they're not nasty people, but what they did to you was nasty. Okay, or at least inconsiderate. And so there's this part of you that needs to cry and accept the fact that the world didn't do for you what you've done for it. And cry about it. It's not fair. Okay, let's look what else we got. It's part of the healing. Oh my word, this card is haunting me. I get it every time I play around with this deck, I get this card. So then you're getting this card. What is your deepest longing? Yes, so part of your healing process as well is taking time to decide what you want in your life and not so much what other people want. I think it's interesting that that's what I said, because you don't have that much support around you yet. I feel this worry over what other people want, which, you know, screw that, man. You know, some of them had their chance. I don't know why I'm hating so bad on your people all of a sudden, but I feel it. It's just something I feel. Yeah, don't worry about other people when you think about your deepest longing or your deepest desire. Just go for it, whatever it is, even if it's a person. Go for it. All right. This glow up that you've got going on, that's coming through, this healing that you're going to embark on, it's leading to this. It's leading to your deepest longing. It's leading to you finding that. For some of you, I feel like that's been a long time coming, that you don't even know what it is still. But you're there, you're getting there, you're going to find it. And that's why we're here, I guess. All right. Let's get into your tarot. I have an interesting pile. I know that's a lot of cards, but I feel them and I want them. All right, let's start. You guys are going to be a shorter reading because all of your cards have come out so quickly. The Queen of Cups with Contemplation, Three of Pentacles with Gain, Two of Cups, Love, Gross, Queen of Swords for Reason. A couple of Queen cards here. Kind of goes with the Swan. The Hermit. And Six of Cups. No. I can't tell if that's Six of Cups or Six of Pentacles. I'm going to have to pause and check. It's Pentacles. Okay, so we have Six of Pentacles with well-being. So let's look and see what these all mean for you. So I scooch them all over, and I don't even know why I bother trying to make this look nice. It always ends up a big mess. Okay, so we have, first off, you have the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is about connecting with others. It's actually about finding support, so that gives me hope for you, because you guys are, you just don't have a lot of people around you right now while you're going through this healing journey, and it makes me not worry about you, but just wish that you had some support. So with Three of Pentacles, that could be support coming from the form of coworkers. If you don't have a lot of coworkers, it could be, or none that you can stand. You could have this coming towards you in the sense of a project, passion projects, hobbies, stuff to do with money, fundraisers. What do normal people do that has to do with coworker vibes? But some kind of collaboration with like two other people at least. Okay. Platonic is what it's feeling like, but it's feeling like they're going to be a huge part of that healing journey. I feel like you're going to get some admiration and support from this area, and it's going to be from an unexpected source that wasn't there up to this point. So I think this is going to be something new. I see the Queen of Cups with Contemplation. The Queen of Cups is also about emotional fulfillment. It's also about healing because the cups are about water. Same thing with the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is about partnership. It's about seeing things eye to eye. It's about being equal. I feel like for some of you, you're going to, some of you just got out of a toxic relationship. So some of you might find a nice, not toxic one. Okay, and that might be part of your healing journey. For a lot of you, though, I'm feeling like it's more of this idea of just having people around you in general that that understand what you're going through, what you've been through, where you're coming from, where you're going, and they want to support you in that. And so I feel like you're going to gain some emotional fulfillment and love from those sources of people from unlikely areas coming into your life. A lot of times when we're betrayed or hurt by people in our lives that are closest to us, it paves the way for a new soul family to come towards you. And so I feel that very strongly for this pile. I feel with the Queen of Swords that you're going to handle these. I don't see you having trust issues, which is great. That's also a message with Rabbit, is not having trust issues with people, not hiding yourself. Like the Hermit's not about seclusion or hiding away. It's not about isolating. It's about standing on your own, finding your own truth, doing your own thing. The Queen of Swords is also like that, but she's much more social. Okay, so it's a nice balance of those two together, as well as the Six of Pentacles, which is also about balance. Aha, isn't that interesting? So I feel like while you're healing and going through this journey, a lot of you are healing from some type of betrayal, some type of abandonment, some type of physical illness that you did not get a lot of support for during that illness, or during that time of hardship for you. And so I feel like a lot of you are kind of starting scratch in your relationships. But at the same time, it's a good thing because it's actually breaking open this door for all these good things to come in, this balance of being social, but also owning your truth, owning your spot, owning your stability, owning your own journey and what you've learned. Okay, not falling into a crowd per se, but finding support in healthy places, and that leading overall to your well-being and your healing journey will be complete in this area. I feel like for so many of you, what's cool about this is that I don't see any bitterness across the board in these cards. Like even the, the child, what are they called? The little inner child deck. A lot of times those will show a lot of hurt, a lot of pain. And I didn't even see that with those. It's like you're literally being asked to give yourself permission to cry. I notice how this came over the Two of Cups, way over the top of that card. It's basically like saying that, if there's nobody there to love you, you got to love yourself. And like, I don't even feel like you need that, but you do. Okay. So you need to let yourself cry about the people that disappointed you or the situations that disappointed you. It's okay. No one has to know. But here you need to know that you were like, it hurt and this sucks. And that'll help you with your well-being, with your healing, and you'll be able to hop forward in your little journey. All healed up and ready to roll. Yeah. I think that's all I have for you. I feel like this is a much shorter pile, but short and sweet. What can I say? I thank you so much for being here. If this was helpful, go ahead and give me comments on how in the comments section. You can give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me or ask me questions, there are ways to get a hold of me in the description box. I thank you so much, my wonderful pile twos. We will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye. Hello, pile three. So if you picked this cute little floppy-eared bunny, then this is going to be your reading. All about what is healing in your life. We are not gonna, I'm like getting ready to get these tarot going, but we're not doing those first. We're doing these. So let's first get some overall animal spirit energy. I like this one. Ooh, that one's. All right. The butterfly. Be ready to transform with wisdom. So some of you are changing, and that's part of your healing journey. Change doesn't always feel good, right? Busting out of that cocoon can be a little bit uncomfortable. Let's see what else we got. The monkey. Experience all that life has to offer. Oh, Archangel Raphael and Archangel Preminilik. I know I did not say that right. I don't know the angels very well. I'm still getting to know them. They are not impressed. Okay. So with the transformation card, like some of you are healing some kind of past wound through change of appearance. It's like some of you might be getting like extensive like tattooing. Some of you might be like coloring your hair or doing like crazy, like not just coloring your hair a different color, but like doing like crazy like hair art, right? Like when you like shave different parts or like color different colors, clothes, makeup, yeah, like an outward appearance, like an outward transformation. Like some of you are really transforming yourself into like who you want to be in order to heal something from your past. Let me see if there's something else that's transforming. Some of you, oh, I see. Okay. Oof, it's hard when there's more than two storylines in a reading, and I'm only on the second one. Let's see if I can do this. So some of you, I feel like your transformation is actually a natural one. Like I feel for some of you, it's simply getting older. And that's not to say that you're like getting elderly or that you're even approaching middle age. Some of you might be quite young and just are aware that you're not a teenager anymore, or, or like you're going to get out of college soon, or that kind of thing. It's like I'm feeling all ages actually of where this could be at, but it's like this idea of some of you aren't too keen on big changes in life like this. So for example, like if your looks are changing from how they were before, for some people that change of life can come with changes in relationships and changes in friend groups and changes in career and life path journey stuff as well. So I feel like for some of you, the transformation is one you don't like. Like it might have something to do with like how you look or how you want others to perceive you, but it could just be of like how you perceive yourself, of this idea of like what you think each age group entails. I feel like for some of you, you feel like once you get past a certain age that like life is not exciting anymore. Like you don't have things to look forward to as much. I'm getting there myself. I have moments like that as I get older of, you know, I don't know, when you're a kid and you're going through the painful adolescent period of like not feeling like attractive enough, like there's always that hope that it's going to get better, you know, like, and then once you get to a certain age, everybody just kind of stops saying that to you and you're like, oh, but wait, is it going to get better? If I just spit all over the table in front of you, I apologize. Usually when I spit, it doesn't make it quite that far. But usually it won't hit you, you know. Usually it'll hit whatever's right in front of me, like my table. Anyway, I feel like your guides are here to remind you that through this transformation, there's still good experiences to have and things to look forward to. Okay, that's the main thing that I'm seeing there with that kind of transformation. Some of you, this is a physical transformation that you're cultivating yourself. Others, it's a transformation that's just naturally happening and you're not as cool with it. Like you don't know how you feel about it. Or maybe you feel like there's certain things in life that aren't going to happen now. Like I remember even like feeling certain ways like this when I was a child. Like, and it, you know, a lot of it's middle child syndrome of you see your older siblings get to do fun things that you can't get to do yet, right? And like you decide that finally you're going to get to try, and then you get there and they change the whole program. Like the whole camp is different now. The rope course isn't even there anymore. Like, and you only, you know, and they ration how much candy you can have now, stuff like that. And you feel like you missed out on the good stuff that you were looking forward to. Okay. I felt like that with college as well. Like I got to college and everything changed from it being like, yeah, you go to college and everybody parties and it's great, to like everybody became very socially conscious. Like, and I just wanted to have like anarchic, like abandoned, you know, party life, and then everybody got like very socially conscious, and I was like, I want to just like hang off balconies and get crazy, but guess we're not gonna do that. Everybody's being all serious now. Not that there wasn't important stuff going on. I'm just saying, you know, that's kind of how I relate to this, is this idea of, you know, stuff changes or transforms, and then you feel like it can't be how good it would have been if things hadn't changed. Yes, other things. Is there another group of people in here? Okay, I think we're good. Let's move on then to your next oracle cards. So I feel like a lot of you like that are healing through transforming yourself. I feel like for most of you that's going really well. Like I don't feel any like addictive like traits or like desperation traits with it. With the second group of feeling like things are changing and you don't really like the change, that one we need to work on a little bit more to see if we can get you feeling a little better. But the people who are transforming their own selves, like through like how you look or how you are viewed, I feel like y'all are doing pretty well. I feel this. Oh, I feel you. There it is. All right. So those of you that are healing through this transformation, like this physical transformation, your guides seem to feel like you can just keep on doing it. I don't feel like there's like this obsessiveness with it that can you know, sometimes people can get addicted to like dyeing their hair different colors or like changing their outward appearance. I don't feel that with you. I feel like you're just cultivating each and every step so precisely that it's really making you feel good. For those of you that are worried that you're changing for the worst, the healing process for you is realizing that there is more stuff coming. There are still good times to be had. Okay. Listen to your unmet needs. Number 18. Yeah, I feel like for some of you with this healing, I feel like it's almost like for example, you know, like sometimes when people get really sick, you can lose your hair, you know, for example. And I feel like the group that's like transforming themselves to help heal are like, yeah, my hair's gone and I'm going to get like head tattoos, you know, or like I'm going to go and get like some body art done and like go to the fair and just like have them paint my whole head, you know, or like something along those lines of just really finding joy in cultivating this change. For those of you that are having a struggle with the change moving forward, both of these are significant to this listen to your unmet needs, because those of you that are transforming how you look, there's something deep down inside of you that you need, that this transformation is helping feed. And some of you have figured it out and some of you haven't. Some of you are just like doing what feels good and you're just going with it. There's something about your unmet needs from your childhood especially, but just in general throughout life, like a wound that's kind of gone with you throughout your entire life, of like, what do you need that hasn't been met? And how do you get that? And the same thing with y'all that are worried about the change and not enjoying the change as much, or feeling like there's not as much to look forward to. What about the people around you who are in that stage in their life? Okay, so like if this is if say you're in the same boat as me and you're like approaching middle-aged, just kidding, I am middle-aged. But what did you see around you with the people in that age group? Like I'm 42, I'm just going to throw that out there. How many 42-year-olds do I see? And how many of them looked like they were happy? Especially when I was young. Not very many that I can remember. Okay. And they often associated it to their age. Like, yeah, once you're 40, it's just over. Now I'm like 42. I'm like, man, it's been over for 2 years and I don't feel like that yet. So like, I feel like I've healed that cycle a little bit, right? But like, and I realized people aged differently back then than they do now. Because we just get better at taking care of ourselves, it seems like, and living longer. But that being said, what unmet needs did they look like they didn't have? Because that's part of the fear here of like, of life not having that much to give you anymore once you pass a certain point. I remember getting depressed when I turned 22. 22 and 26 were hard for me. And it was stupid. It was because, you know, all the impressive, famous people that I had followed my whole life were famous and impressive by the time they were 26, and I wasn't yet. And I'm still not, and I don't care now. But back then I did. So what needs did they not have met, people in that age group that you're moving into, or people that are transforming in the same way that you're transforming now? What about that transformation seemed like it didn't meet their needs, or seemed like it messed stuff up for them? Focus on that and see how that's not true for you. Okay. For example, a lot of our parents, you know, in my generation, by the time they were in their 40s, they were acting like they were old people, you know, and it's because their parents, that's when they started to see them looking old to them, or them acting old, you know, and so they just followed suit. A lot of them too had, like, you know, followed paths in their lives that weren't working for them for too long, you know, at least the ones around me. And so their needs weren't met and they ended up being unhappy. Well, then they're in their 40s and they're like, well, there's no sense in hoping it getting better now, right? It's all too late. And so then they just kept on following that path until, you know, they slowly died of, you know, alcoholism or whatever else we had lying around. So that's a really bleak example, but it's an example that I saw throughout my life of that feeding into that fear of people once they got to that transformation that was going to be that bad for them. It's like when somebody, you know, when your older sibling goes to the dentist and they come back and they're like, it was actually fun. I got you know, they made me
breathed gas and it made me feel funny, and then afterwards they gave me a sucker or something like that, and you're like, oh, that doesn't sound too bad. If they come home and tell you about how awful and scary it was, well, guess what? When it comes time for you to take that transformation into the dentist office, you're not going to feel as excited about it. You're going to feel more trepidation and fear because of the story and narration that was set out for you. And so I want to throw that out there for that group that feels that this transformation is not a healing one. You know, like it's almost like the wound itself is the transformation. Ugh, that's a hard thing to explain. Yep. Let's move on.
All right, we have plant a seed of self-forgiveness. Yes, for those of you, this is across the board. It applies to both, but I'm going to start with the people who are having a harder time with transformation and change right now, because that seems to be more of the wound. The wound is held over from seeing other people in those same frames and time periods in their life struggling through it. Forgive yourself for getting older. Forgive yourself for not making all the right decisions up until now. Forgive yourself for the things that happened that now it's too late. You know, that happens to all of us. It's not just you. You know, we all end up with like a pocket full of regret when we die. Like,
and some of us get like a whole truck full. You know, it just depends on what we end up doing, okay, and how we look at it. So forgive yourself for getting older. Forgive yourself for changing. It's okay. You couldn't have helped it anyway in that particular group. For those of you that are transforming your looks to help heal an old wound, you also need to forgive yourself as well. That feels more like childhood trauma in this group. I feel like there's kind of some trauma across the board because generally if we're going to read a reading and we're like, oh, what needs to heal? Like most of us, if we were like, I don't need anything to heal, I'm fine, we probably wouldn't have watched the video. Okay, so I feel like trauma is going to be something across the board for all the piles. But the fact that, and I don't want this to come off sounding like that old lady in 1997 who thought because you played video games and listened to Metallica that you were going to end up like hurting someone, you know, or yourself, okay? But a lot of times when we focus a lot on our outward appearance and our transformation in that way, and I don't feel like this is even a transformation in the traditional sense of just glowing up or changing your style. It's almost like very artsy. That's why I kept bringing up like tattoos, piercings, augmentations, like hair art, body art, that kind of stuff, style. A lot of times I'm not going to say it's masking a trauma because I don't believe that's true. I know a lot of people stereotyped it as that for a long time, but it is taking control of ourselves in some way. There's something about those people's pasts that are watching this pile that there needs to be some kind of, at least a little seed of forgiveness for yourself. Whether it was like you got sick and then you had to change your appearance because you don't look the same as you used to, and going back to what it was before is silly. Same thing with the people that are like getting older or their lives are changing in some significant way that can't be reversed. It's like, it's okay to forgive yourself in order to move forward. That's what I'm trying to say. It's okay to look at those things, look at where you feel like you didn't measure up and forgive yourself for that, because we're all doing pretty much the best we can for the most part, right? Yes. Anything else I want to say about that? The other thing about the monkeys too is that I feel like you need to remember to be playful. Those of you that feel like the transformation is like that you're too far advanced to heal, like some of you need to get back to those roots of like silliness, of like playfulness. Okay, kind of take an example from these guys. I don't know why I'm like, even though these cards represented both of you, it's like I'm almost like saying that one's over here and one's over there. The ones that are transforming their appearance are being more playful. like the monkey suggests. Okay. And so take a page from their book and be a little bit playful with how you transform and how you look forward to the future and how you look forward to healing, because healing is still going to happen. All right. Or you wouldn't have found a pile. Okay. I think we're ready to move on to tarot. Wow. That one wanted to come right out. So does these two. So do these two. I'm not an English teacher anymore, but I still try to sound like I know what I'm talking about. Although you shouldn't, because if you're an English teacher, people just, correct you all the time about everything anyway. Like, you tripped, you're supposed to be an English teacher? Like, yeah, we tripped, just like regular people. It's weird. You guys got a lot of cards, but we're going to take all of them. We have Ace of Swords. That's about being honest with yourself. I also noticed that this guy has some kind of fool energy in the sense that he's like embarking out. But he's looking through here more so than looking at his surroundings. So like, I feel like, that gung-ho attitude of just like venturing out is important. We have Ace of Pentacles. That's about promising new starts. Those of you that feel like things are maybe over. Seven of Cups is about feeling overwhelmed, but it's also about having opportunity and choices available to you of a nice, pleasing variety. We have Six of Swords. That's about escaping. It's about escaping in just the nick of time. It is also about a little bit of haunted past. We'll talk about that. Six of Wands, admiration from other people. And then we have the Moon. That can be about intuition. It can be about fear of the future. We have the Four of Swords. That's about rest or a time of inaction. And then we have the Nine of Swords, which is about anxiety, fear, sleepless nights, that kind of thing. So looking at all of these, and sorry to squish them together because you got so many. I'm just going to point at them. You're going to have to zoom because I don't want to mess everything up. I've already taken up so much of your time doing silly things like this. Okay. With the Ace of Swords, like a lot of this is about truth, okay? You're transforming your appearance. You're making an art out of it. You're enjoying it. But remember the truth of who you are at your heart, okay? And remember that your outward appearance is not who you are on the inside. So I feel like some of you need to remember that, you are who you are at the heart of you, and that your outward appearance isn't all of you. That is one thing that's going to help you along with the healing journey if you're changing your appearance. If this is about those of you who are hurt by the actual passage of time or getting older or any of those things, this is about owning the truth that this is something that everybody goes through. No one's immune to it, even if they act like they are. And it's okay to have your feelings about it. It's okay to move forward, to be excited, to accept the truth that it's not over. Okay, just because like a phase of your life is over doesn't mean that life is over. We have the Ace of Pentacles, which is about wonderful new beginnings. Okay, so I feel like this is a wonderful message for both piles, or both groups in this pile, is that you have things to look forward to. There are still good times to be had. New opportunities that you didn't even realize were available to you are going to become clear. And you're also going to realize that everything happened in exactly the due course that it was supposed to, which is also going to aid in your healing. Okay. It's also going to aid in you finding inspiration to move forward. We also have the Six of Wands. You're actually going to be admired by how you handle the situation that you're in. And you already are admired by many. And so if you feel like you're not measuring up in some way, just take that as confirmation that people around you notice that you are awesome. And they're going to continue noticing that. It's going to continue to grow as you move forward. The Moon is about your intuition. It is a little bit about fear of the future, okay, which we all have. But your guides are here to tell you that they are protecting you, they're watching over you, that the path will be illuminated when it needs to be as you move forward. We have the Four of Swords, which is about give yourself a rest, because like, I feel like a lot of you, these two cards are going together for me, because a lot of you, I feel like, have literally lost sleep over your current situation, over this current change or this current healing that's taking place. And you just need to take some time and rest, and like, don't even worry about reflecting on how far you've come yet. Just rest, because like, you've been through it. I feel like a lot of you have been through like massive change. Like, even those of you that are changing yourselves right now, you're doing that to heal something massive that happened before, whether that was way before and then something else happened more recently and brought it to the forefront, or it's just something that you've always been working on and now you found this new way to move forward. For those of you that are worried about the changes of life and things being over and not being able to go back, you need to let those go. Let that rest. Look forward to what's happening now. Those swords are there because they're running away. They're getting away from like some kind of conflict that was behind them. Okay. And that's what your guides want you to focus on, is like, those swords are not hanging over your head anymore. They're back here. Okay. And you're safe now to rest, move forward and heal, and move forward into the journey of your life that is to come. And it's something to be excited about. Yeah. Okay. That's all I have for you.
Thank you for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. If it was, give me comments on how in the comments section. Give me topic ideas there as well. As you can see, I'm clearly terrible at picking them. If you'd like to book a private reading with me or ask me questions about anything, go ahead and hit me up. There are ways to get a hold of me in the description box. Thank you, my friends. We will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye, 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 bye.